What I'm going to look at is I'm going to check the transmission mount and the engine mount. With them loaded, in other words, with the engine just hanging on like it normally does, you can't see if there's any give or break in it, especially on the transmission mount, because it's the lower mount on the front. It holds the whole front end of the engine and transmission sub-assemblies together. So what I'm going to do is I've got it up in the air. I've got it supported not on the suspension points, but on the chassis points, which for our purposes is just fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the jack and very gently put the jack underneath the engine transmission assembly near that mount and lift up slightly and see if there's give on the center lines of where that shaft, where the bolt goes through to hold it in place is. I suspect very strongly there is, and I also think my upper mount is blown, or at least weak. And the reason I say that is because this is the upper mount, and if you look at it right now, you can see I've got movement in the mount through the unit. That's with it loaded. Okay, there's nothing beyond the normal, which makes me think that this is probably shot. I need to put a new one on. This is actually the later model replacement unit, which makes me even more curious as to why it would have that much give in it. But it sure has a ton of give, and that much flex and play could very much cause some vibration to come through into the chassis, and that may even cause my vibration at 50 miles an hour. I don't know. I doubt it because it's not engine rotational driven, but hell, who knows? It could be. Anyway, so I'm going to lift that up right quick and check that. Now that mount, the front mount, as I was describing it, it is under here at the front, right there and there. This is the chassis side, that's the engine side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the jack right here very carefully and just lift slightly. I'm not going to jack it up a whole bunch. All I'm looking for is give. I've looked over the rest of the suspension, and I'm not seeing a whole lot else that's giving me any kind of give or play, so I'm kind of wondering what's up there. It's just looking good, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to switch mounts on the camera so I can set it down and have it point up. So I'll be right back with you. Got it set. I got the camera set. I'm lifting this thing up where it goes, where I'm wanting it to go, so I can look at it. Actually, the jack is going to go right beside where I'm trying to lift at. That way I can see best what's going on. By the way, I've got a little bit of a transmission leak going on too. I'm going to have to check that out. It's nothing much, it's nothing critical, but it is enough to make me nervous, because I always am nervous whenever I see any fluids leaking. The one thing I hate about this car is whoever put in the test. Oh yeah, okay, bingo. Watch that. Okay, watch again real closely right here. Let's see if I can't zoom in on it. Hang on. Oh, where are you at? I zoomed in too much. Okay, right there. See how much squish and rotation there is there? And actually, both of them are doing that. I'm thinking that could be part of my problem right there. So that's a pretty straightforward deal. There's only a couple of bolts on this side. These here. This whole thing comes as an assembly. There's two bolts here. Yeah, it's got. Oh yeah, see, I can wiggle it with my fingers when I've got weight off of it. I've got just a little bit of weight off the suspension, and it's already just goosey-loosey. That indicates to me that it's probably bad. So that's going to get replaced. That's going to get replaced. Shouldn't have that much give in it, I don't think. It's awful soft. That axle half shaft right there, that one's the one that has some play in it. I don't know if you can see it with that. I don't know if the lighting's where you can get to it well or not, but a lot of slop there, guys. Way too much. You know, it's not a big deal. It's this rotational that's the problem, and it's got a banging amount of noise. So that's going to have to get replaced. I need to check this out because this is not good. And part of that could be wash off because I did run through some rain getting over here, so it is still damp under here, but that's got some oil content to it. And so we're going to check that out again, wipe it off real good, and see if we can figure out where it's leaking from and put some more fluid in it, because it could be, that could be fun. But I think it's transmission. I don't think it's, angle gear. Because of where it's at and what it is. Angle gear is on over. That's on the transmission side, and this is transmission fluid. This is an angle gear fluid by the smell of it. So, anyway. All right.